Hello, hello, and welcome to this class where we are going to learn how to build emotional resilience in our changing world. My name is Elaine Basio, and I am a certified health coach specializing in essential oil education. What that means is that I help people feel better using doTERRA essential oils, and specifically using oils to shift our emotions and to build some emotional anchors into us. And that is such an important topic these days because as we know that there is so much that is going on around us, even if we are typically not someone who is more, or easily being emotionally swayed. It's just there's so much going on around us. It's just the energy around us is just changing all the time. So learning how to find our emotional anchor and to build emotional resilience these days is so much more important because we really cannot change what is around us. We all know that. But what we can do is to control how we respond to those things that are around us. So that is what the whole class today is about, and how to use essential oils to help us stay anchored and find our emotional resilience. So let's get into it. I hear people joining, so let me make sure that I allow them in. Hi, Candace, how are you? You're still joining. Hi, Candace. There's two of you joining, so there's two Candace here, so I'll let you figure that out. Hi, we just started, and I just gave an intro about how we could use essential oils to build emotional resilience. So let's get into it, because what we are learning is essential oils are highly effective for supporting our physical health. We know that when we have digestive issues, we can reach for peppermint, or there's a blend called Digestion that helps with it. When we have head tension, there's certain oils that can support that. But what we're learning more and more is that these oils actually can shift our moods. And specifically how it happens is that essential oils are distilled from plants. And that is so crucial because we're looking at plant medicine here, and plants have been used as medicine for many, many years. Growing up as Chinese, I know that plants are very important in the Chinese herbal medicine world. And we used to have to boil herbs for hours to make it into a really thick, dark soup to drink. And that's how we support our health back when I was in China. So plants are amazing medicine, and there are basic plant groups, okay? So we can look into, there are citrus oils. There is also oils that are more on the spicy side, like ginger and clove. There's herbs, okay? So we're looking into basil and thyme. There's also oils that come from the bark of the trees, okay? So those are probably your wood oils, cedar wood, sandalwood, so on and so forth. And then there's floral oils, which is one of my favorite. They're light and floral. So we're looking at rose, neroli, which is another flower, jasmine, geranium, and also mint. That's the energizing, minty, really refreshing type of oil. So the reason I'm bringing up these different plant groups is that each group actually has different mood altering properties. Okay, so each of the oil groups actually have some really amazing power in terms of shifting our emotions. And I want to really have us think about smell. Okay, smell is the only sense in our whole system that actually bypass any other body system and goes straight to the brain. Specifically, it goes straight to the limbic system, which is our emotions control center in us. And how many of you have watched the movie Inside Out? You know, in Inside Out, the movie, we have Joy, the main character, with her buddies, like anger and sadness, and I forgot who else was there, but they're sitting in this control center and they control the emotions of the human subject, right? And that specifically is what our limbic system is. And that is the control center where it says, hey, let's push anger up right now. We need to feel really angry right now. Or, hey, let's have joy come out, and just to bring joy to the heart of this person. So essential oils is really the fuel in that emotions control center to really make things happen. And that's why when we look into having support for our emotions, using essential oils and having that smell, using the fragrance of the oils, it's so powerful. So what I'm going to be doing is that I will be going through each group of the different groups that I had mentioned, like the ones here, and talk about when we would want to use each group. Remember, as I was sharing in the beginning, we cannot control what's going on around us, okay? Sometimes stressful things happen, sometimes it's frustrating things happen, or some things that really cause us to really want to just kind of bring up anger, right? So what we could do is when different situations happen around us, we could just reach for a specific group to help switch our emotions, to help us make that shift. And that is how really we would be able to build emotional resilience, is to have the right tools and resources to control our emotions regardless of what is going on with us. Okay. So let's get into the difference here. The first group that I love to talk about is the mint group. Mint in general, they give you that feeling of very uplifting, very energizing, and very positive, okay? If we want to instill those feelings, say like something happens that really brings you down, whether it is at the kids' school, at work, whatever it is that makes you feel down and sad, well, we can really foster that sadness going on, but we could also look for a mint oil and use it, diffusing it or inhaling it, either way works, and use it to help us shift those emotions. And the ones that I like, I love peppermint, and spearmint is another one. It's the cousin of peppermint. It is not as strong per se, and it has a hint of sweetness to it. So it's actually really pleasant as well. So I love just putting a few drops in my palm, rubbing my hands together, and just inhale it deeply. So I would just do this. And just by doing that, makes me feel energized and kind of gives me that hope that, oh, everything is going to be okay. I can stay positive through this. So that is really one way of how we can utilize essential oils to help us build emotional resilience. Okay, so that's the mint group. Very important there. Now, another group that I would like to address is the citrus oil. Citrus oils, as we look at it, citrus actually helps us focus. It helps bring mental clarity, and it brings a joyful heart. So this is when you feel like, okay, I'm going through some things here and my brain is just scattered. I can't think straight. There are too many things on my plate. It is so hard to focus, so hard to have clarity in my head. And that's when you would pull out your citrus oil, diffusing it. It's fantastic. Again, inhaling it is another way. I also love to put a drop in my water. Just by doing it and by drinking that, it is so refreshing, and it helps me to stay focused, okay? And it truly brings joy to my heart whenever I kind of use the citrus oils. Now, we have a lot of different options when it comes to citrus oils. There's lemon oil, which is really common. There's also wild orange, which is called the oil of abundance, and I also call it the happy oil. Whenever I feel down, I feel like, oh, it's just a little bit frustrating or sad, I pull out my happy oil, my wild orange, and it just gets really good from there on. There's also lime oil. That's the oil of zest for life. So that's when you feel really down and when you just feel like, okay, I don't know what I'm really doing here. You want to boost, you want some extra motivation. Lime is a great oil for that. And also there's grapefruit oil, which is another oil I love using in my diffuser and in my water. Okay, so there's actually many different options here when it comes to citrus oils. Now, and then another group that is super powerful when it comes to helping us with our emotions. It's the floral group, okay? Floral oils, as you notice, they are very calming, they're peaceful, they're very relaxing. Lavender is an example of that. There's also jasmine oil, rose, geranium. Those are all oils that are very calming, relaxing. It makes you feel like life is easy and you can go with the flow. Because when you think about it, when you think about a flower, and we get the oil from the petals of the flowers, okay? And those petals are light. They flow with the wind, they flow with life. It's really easy. So as we put these oils on, we also can kind of enjoy that flow and the ease of pace. So that's why I love to use floral oils whenever I feel like, okay, life is just a little bit difficult right now. There's so much going on around me, or things are just not happening the way I want them to. So when you're in that mode, when you just need to feel like, okay, I just need to get back in the flow, I just need to know that things are going to be okay, I pull out my floral oil. And how I like to use it, it says here is inhaling and diffusing, but I would also like to add that I love to use floral oil on topically. So I would put it on the inside of my wrist crease. I actually like to just use it as a perfume because I love smelling it. And just by having them on just makes me feel like everything is going to be okay. So you would use floral oils to want to make a shift like that, okay? Now the next group we'll be talking about is the tree oils. So think about yourself being in a forest surrounded by big, humongous redwood trees. What does that make you feel? It makes you feel safe, makes you feel connected, makes you feel grounded and centered. And that is basically what wood oils would do for us. Anytime I feel frazzled, I feel like I'm all over the place, I have no idea what's going on around it, I just need to feel grounded and centered again, I reach for my wood oils. Some of the samples here, or examples here, are frankincense. Black spruce oil is amazing for that. Cedar wood is another one. I also love that there is a blend called Balance, which has many different wood oils. It has the spruce oil, it has whole leaf, and blue tansy is a floral. So there are different, and frankincense in this blend. So anytime, like I said, when I feel I just needed some centered, or to feel more centered, to feel more connected, I reach for my tree oils. And again, inhaling, diffusing would be best. I also love putting it on the bottoms of my feet, because when you think about it, if my energy is too much, especially if I'm too much in my head and there's just so much going on, I want to pull some of that frazzled energy down. And so I put the wood oils on the bottoms of my feet, and that helps to pull all of those frazzled energy from my crown or my heart down to my feet, and it helps me feel centered and anchored again. So wood oils is actually, they're very important when it comes to helping us feel emotionally stable and grounded. So make sure that, you know, if you want, definitely make sure you have some wood oils in your home just to help you through those difficult days. Now, the next group that I'm going to be talking about is the spice group, okay? So when you have oils that are spicy, they get you excited. They get you to be joyful, and they get you to be creative. So spice oils are actually a lot of fun. When I feel like my life is dull, especially if we've been sheltering in place forever, it feels like, and I just wanted to kind of get things going again. I want to feel excited about life. I want to like just have a playful attitude about things. I pull out my spice oils. Some of the examples here are cinnamon oil. It's amazing for that. Ginger oil. Ginger is actually the oil of empowerment. Anytime I just want more movement in my life, I just feel like, okay, I've been stagnant in different areas, I just want to get things going again, I pull out my ginger oil. I also love using clove oil. It's spicy, but again, The spiciness kind of gets me going. Cardamom is another example of a spice oil. You could use them. I love putting them in my diffuser. I also love to put some on my solar plexus because that just kind of helps me feel like, okay, I can move forward with life. I can bring some joy and excitement into my life. And the solar plexus point is perfect for that. So I like to put a drop on there as well. Now, if you're worried about if you have sensitive skin, and spicy oils could cause some sensitivity sometimes, you can definitely dilute them with fractionated coconut oil before you put them on your body, okay? But make sure you use them because these spice oils are really, truly gems here. They can help you get through a lot of different things. And then the next one, I think it's the last one, is our herb oil, okay? So we're looking at basil oil, thyme oil, fennel, oregano, many different herbs, rosemary, so on and so forth. What they do is herbs actually are pretty amazing when it comes to allowing us to feel content, to feel like things are okay, to lend us the patience and the forgiveness that we need as we go through life. Especially, I don't know how you feel about this, but with all the stuff going on around us, sometimes we can get really unforgiving to people around us, unforgiving to the government who put all these rules and laws above us. Sometimes we can develop emotions like that. So using the herbal oils would help with that. And also help us to be more forgiving with the people around us because we're now at home 24/7 with our husband, with our kids. It used to be that we can kind of leave home for a few hours a day. So we're not constantly in each other's face, right? But these days there's nothing like that. So I love diffusing it whenever I feel like, okay, I need more grace in my life. I just need to have a little bit more forgiveness. Then I start diffusing them. And that's really one of the ways that I really truly enjoy using the herb oils. Of course, you can also use them for cooking. I use them a lot when it comes to roasting vegetables. I love putting rosemary and thyme in my veggies. I make a smoothie, a strawberry smoothie for the kids, and I add basil oil to it, and the kids love it. So many different uses for it. But when it comes to emotional support, the herb oils are the ones that could help with patience, forgiveness, and contentment. Okay, so I've been talking now for, I believe, like 20, 25 minutes. So I wanted to offer this opportunity for those of you who are on live. If you have any questions that you wanted to ask specifically regarding the different oil groups or a specific oil, or if there are certain emotions that you want to address, I would love to open it up and see if I could answer some of those questions for you. Janae and Candace, anything?
Hi, Elaine.
Hey.
Hey, this is so beautiful, this presentation, and I love the breakdown of what these plant parts, somehow they can support us.
Yes.
I think I'm most curious about an oil that I have an idea, but I'd love your insight to like really feel nourished and when we're feeling so depleted and run down.
Okay, so instead of feeling depleted and run down, what's the opposite feelings that you want to achieve?
I want to feel more energized, and I also want to feel more like well taken care of.
Perfect. So let's look at this chart here. If we want to feel energized, what group would you pull from?
Well, that would be the mint and citrus. Perfect.
Okay. And then, so I would definitely do the mint, right? The peppermint and the wild orange. That's one of the best combo out there, right? And to feel more taken care of. Okay. And so when you feel taken care of, when you are taken care of, what type of feelings does that elicit in you?
When I am taken care of, I feel like some gratitude. I feel some tenderness. I feel like I have more patience.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Then I would probably, if those are the feelings you want to create, um, I would recommend the floral oils on your heart. Right?
Mm,
Especially lavender oil on the heart actually helps create that sense of gratitude, and it opens up your heart to allows you to communicate your needs. So when you need to be taken care of, we need to be able to express our needs, right?
yes.
And I know we women, we're so bad. We really suck in doing that. We don't talk about ourselves enough. We don't talk about our needs enough because we're always out there taking care of other people, right?
Right.
And so using lavender on your heart space, what number one allows you to cultivate that sense of gratitude. And secondly, allows you to open up your heart to be able to communicate your needs to others. So when you're able to do that, when others know that, okay, those are her needs, let's honor those, then we would feel more taken care of. So floral for sure, mint and the citrus will help with the energizing part. And to have more patience and contentment, definitely some of the herb oils. Let me think what herb oils would be good for you. What about basil? Basil is the oil of renewal, oil of hope. Would using that kind of allow you to feel a little bit more hopeful?
Yes. When you were going through the herbs, I was thinking of basil, and I haven't been using it regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that could be a contributing factor.
And this is a recipe. I know I mentioned it before. This is really one of my favorite recipes, especially if you're feeling a little run down. Our adrenals would definitely need more support because the adrenals actually run a lot of our hormones. And when we feel that we have low energy, low motivation, it means that our adrenals are not really functioning as well. So definitely do 5 drops of basil with 5 drops of wild orange together and rub it on your adrenals. So when I go through times when I feel like I have low energy, I just don't have that urge to do a lot of things, I use these in the morning, the basil and wild orange, and it really gives me that boost that I don't feel as fatigued, I don't feel as run down. So that might be something you could try because it would bring in the herb oil and the citrus for you, and you just kind of put it on your adrenals and that helps with it.
Perfect. I'm going to try that tomorrow morning.
Yay! Let me know how it goes.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thanks for asking that question. Anything else? Candace, do you have anything?
I'm doing this on my phone. I haven't done this on my phone before, so can you hear me?
I can totally hear you.
Awesome. I liked how you talked about the grounding oils and putting them on the bottoms of your feet kind of helps pull down that frazzled energy.
Yes.
I think I need to do that more often. Just slather oils on my feet like more often.
And there's one thing I want to mention too, and it's so true because it just pulls everything down, right? But I also have been doing it for EMF because there's a lot of electromagnetic field or frequency around us from our cell phones, from the Wi-Fi, and that causes our energy field to be just kind of not in alignment. So by putting the grounding oils on the bottoms of your feet actually helps kind of dispel some of that discordant from the EMF. So yeah, I love using it too. And you're right, I don't use it enough.
I know. It's like you put it on like your neck and your back or whatever, your wrists, but somehow the feet don't get enough loving. Like
right?
They need to get more oils.
You are right. I hear you.
I have a quick question though. The other day I was feeling a bit off emotionally and I reached for what's it called? Cheer. I don't always like cheer, but I think what really hit me really good was the star anise. Could you talk a little bit about star anise?
I actually don't know much about star anise, but I could find. Danae, do you know if that's in our emotions book? Star anise.
I think it could be in the new one. Let's
In the
see.
new one. Okay. So I actually don't know a lot about star anise because again, it's not a common oil that we have. And is it?
It is in the new one, the Soulful Femininity.
Do you mind sharing a little bit from there? Like, what is this? Is the oil of what? Soulful femininity?
I'll just read it if you don't
Thank
mind.
you. Yes, please.
Star anise and anise, I don't know how to say it. Soulful Femininity has a warm, bolstering aroma that mirrors its emotional qualities. This plant embodies strong, calm, and reassuring energy. It enfolds all that one is, inviting them to come into a sense of wholeness. From this state of wholeness, individuals are free to journey beyond where they have never been before and learn to dance their heart song. This oil is uplifting, balancing, and comforting to the careworn. It has the ability to be both flowing and consistent at the same time. It's helpful for reducing states of extreme contraction and moving individuals toward expansion. Star anise guides the mind and body into a place of rest and regeneration before it reawakens it to rise and thrive again. If an individual is feeling worn down, this oil can reignite their inner spark, filling the fountain of their heart to overflowing once more. Star anise reminds of the need for self-care or for individuals to first stoke their inner fire in order to send out unbridled love and strength to a world in need of what they bring. This oil has a beautiful feminine quality which works to strengthen and align female energy. Symbolically, the oil represents a sacred element and speaks to the soul energy on that plane. Its warm, nurturing embrace feels ancient and sacred, reminds individuals that they are an empowered an empowered being of infinite worth. It says you can also apply it to your solar plexus or the sacral chakras, even the heart. And companion oils would be cassia, ginger, whisper, myrrh, cheer, and rose.
That is amazing. That was me. Well, I reached for my cheer right away and started putting it on. Sounds like an amazing oil.
Yeah.
Did any of that land well for you, Candace? Hello, hello? You muted?
Oh,
There you go.
can you hear? There we go.
Yeah,
Just the careworn and nurturing side of things, and also just the femininity of it. I don't know. I don't always like cheer, but I really liked it that day.
So that day you needed support from some of these oils. That's amazing. Thank you, Danae, for reading and sharing that with us. Yeah, so I hope that answered your questions about star anise.
My pleasure, Elaine. I think that that's a good point Candace brings up about how on a particular day she did reach for cheer and it helped and supported her, but that in the past maybe she's not been drawn to it. And I find that there are definitely cycles for certain oils, and it's really reflective of how we are actually going through the things we're going through in our day-to-day lives. You know, some days we're going to need more of that invigoration like the mints can provide, and some days we're really going to need to feel that soothing and support from the flowers. The florals are very calming and soothing. So I think your body, you are just tapping into your own body's wisdom by honoring that, Candace.
Very well said, Danae. Very well said. Thank you for sharing that. Yay. And that was the intention of why I wanted to go through the different groups, because like I said, we cannot control, we don't know what things will happen when, right? But what we could do is we can understand the properties of different oil groups and then reach for them for whatever emotions we want to, or feelings we want to create. So I am going to stop the recording right here.